So Dragon's Dogma 2 is rapidly approaching, and so in preparation for this massive and anticipated title, today I'll be going through some of the various vocations that we know as of today, vocations being Dragon's Dogma's answer to classes. Now I say know as of today because it's very possible that we'll see more upcoming vocations after release, either vocations that Capcom has kept secret or as future updates to the game. But for now, this will be an overview for two of the vocations that's been officially revealed, that being the Archer and the Thief. And I'll be making follow-up videos to this one in case you guys want to see more. Also, thank you to all of you channel members for supporting the channel. I appreciate all the support so far, and I couldn't do this gig without you. Alright, so first we're going to take a look at the Archer, which technically is a new vocation, but really it's just a combination of the previous Strider, Assassin, and Ranger vocations from DD1. However, the Archer is pretty much a ranged-only class, and so you won't be wielding daggers or swords together with a bow this time around. Instead, you'll constantly be keeping your distance and sticking your enemies full of arrows. That said, archers will still be equipped with melee attacks that at least lets you create some distance between you and your enemies, like this double kick to a backflip right here, and this kick followed up with a shot from your bow. There's also a dive attack that lets you create even more distance, and in the official Archer showcase we see the player coating arrows with poison, which could be Invasive Arrow, which weakens defense of enemy body parts, making them easier to stagger. We can also see several abilities from the older vocations coming back, as we have this draw ability that seems to stagger and do massive amounts of damage. I think this might be Dire Arrow, since we can actually see Dire Arrow visible on the Actions tab in this one clip. There's also Sweep Shot that looks to be just a different name for Triad and Heptad Shot, where you lose several arrows in a horizontal line, which is great to use as a close-ranged attack or when you're surrounded. And then we have Barrage, that's essentially Threefold Arrow, but apparently a bit weaker. Now it's possible that Capcom has increased the power of each arrow you shoot with Barrage here, as the original Threefold Arrow and its upgrades are absolutely insane DPS-wise, considering you shoot all three arrows in quick bursts in the original game. But I wouldn't be surprised if Barrage actually is weaker, as to make each consecutive upgrade feel even more powerful. And I can't wait to see what a fully upgraded Barrage looks like, as Threefold Arrow and its upgrades were one of my favorite abilities in DD1. I want to mention that these are all just basic abilities, and there's definitely going to be a slew of new ones that'll unlock as you level up your character. And since Archer is essentially 3 of the bow and arrow vocations rolled into one, you're going to be playing around with more skills and abilities than ever before. This of course is also applicable for the Thief vocation, which will be the melee variant next to Archer. Thief, just like the Archer, is a combination of older vocations, these being Strider and Assassin, with what seems to be a primary focus on the latter. Again, just like with the Archer, Thief will only be using melee weapons, and from what footage that I've seen, daggers looks to be the primary and the only weapon type the Thief can use, unlike say the Assassin from DD1 that could wield a sword and a shield even. Now before you go, "Oh man," just know that we'll be getting a new vocation with the Warfarer that'll let you swap between any weapon you'd like, but I'll cover that one in another video. So looking at the abilities for the Thief, we know that there's Smokescreen that seems to confuse and make enemies temporarily lose sight of you. Then we have Biting Wind, which does a quick dash with a slicing attack that you can use in rapid succession, and it's an amazing ability to close the gap between you and your enemies. Powder Charge is an explosive ability that's great to use while climbing big monsters, and aside from doing a lot of damage, it's also great for stunning opponents. Helm Splitter is also making a return, which is a diving attack that's especially great to use against bigger monsters, and it's definitely an awesome ability to spam on toppled enemies for some massive damage. Speaking of climbing monsters, Thief is most likely going to be the best vocation for doing just that, as climbing monsters quickly was basically the previous Strider vocation's biggest strength. Now aside from your abilities, there's of course the standard attacks being Carve and Twin Fangs, and you'll mostly be using these between abilities. Thief also has access to Dash, which lets you dodge around enemies quickly, so all you Bloodborne fans out there are probably gonna love playing Thief. Now, it has to be mentioned that we haven't seen much coverage when it comes to augments, but all you need to know about augments is that they're essentially perks that increase various stats in different ways. Now, augments aren't locked to any one class in DD1, as when you've unlocked an augment that's specific to, say, Thief, you'll be able to use that very same augment for your Archer. So in a way, augments are bonuses that you get for investing time and leveling up different vocations, and they're an amazing way of making your character much more powerful. And so hopefully Capcom hasn't changed this around by locking it to a specific class, but as far as I know, there's no footage of anyone using the same augments for different vocations, so I can't really confirm anything here. Alright, now that'll have to do for this little overview of the Archer and Thief vocations. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't already, then subscribe for more. Mr. Holton, signing out.